Hello, analysts. This week's poll number 13, is called the Big Four Priority Poll. That basically it's saying they've got some software to add some bigger updates, and they want to know what updates we'd like to be in the game faster. So the updates that they're talking about: Clan Wars, God Wars, PvP Worlds, and Wilderness Tag. You can read about them on the old school feedback and poll suggestion page. They've got a little thread each, which tells you about them and what the idea is. Clan Wars is basically the Clan Wars in RS3, where you use clan chats to get groups together and you can fight each other. They're also talking about adding free for all safe. They won't have the. They're unlikely to have the free for all dangerous because they have PvP in the wilderness, and maybe they'll be adding PvP worlds. God Wars Dungeon is the dungeon with many creatures. They've got the four bosses: Zamorak, Saradomin, Bandos, and Armadillo. Although there were people are discussing saying, oh, the armor and the weapons are going to be too high powered, and they're discussing maybe changing the god swords to be staves for magic and things. So there is a lot of discussion around that. PvP worlds, they were discussing adding servers that have PvP everywhere. There'll of course be certain safe areas, most likely banks, maybe places like Lumbridge Castle where beginners play, and they're saying just so the PKers don't have to kill PKers constantly, they'll maybe put a bonus XP for skillers. The problem with that is, personally, I find that to actually go on the world for the PKs to fight the skillers, the XP bonus would have to be significant. But if it was that significant, it would change the high scores, or it would just give unfair advantages to the people that don't want to risk things. And I generally when I play RuneScape, I don't try and risk everything. Also, with the PvP worlds, they said, right, we've got PKing in the wilderness and PvP worlds, and they're sort of unsure. I mean, it's a bit ambiguous as to whether they'll keep PKing in the wilderness or whether they'll be adding reverence in the wilderness and taking PvP from the wilderness. So I guess if you do want PvP worlds, you have to discuss it. Think, do I want PKing in the wilderness? And just go on these forums and discuss that. Finally, wilderness tag. That was just an idea that you go into the wilderness and you tag a post or something, or you have to go to certain areas in the wilderness, and once you've done a certain amount, you get an XP bonus. Similar to the all fired up quest, which is in RuneScape 3 at the moment, where you had to go into the wilderness, light a beacon, and go into the next one, light another beacon. The whole idea of that will be, so it will make you go into the wilderness to get XP, and you'll be a good target for PKers. So PKers don't have to just fight other PKers; they can fight noobs and skillers and whatever. So if you want to read more about them, go to the old school feedback and poll page. That's in the old school forums. And anyway, so for me, I'd think Clan Wars is the main priority because I always quite enjoy Clan Wars, and it's not going to affect a lot. And God Wars Dungeon PvP was a wilderness tag. Now, I don't mind God Wars, but a lot of people will be discussing the armor and stuff. So and then there's wilderness tag, which never actually got into RuneScape, and it sounds interesting, but to be honest, it will probably either be really good XP or really useless. So I'm gonna say I want God Wars because I don't think PvP worlds will work in old school. You know, we've got the wilderness, and if they did add PvP worlds, will we keep the wilderness? They were being quite ambiguous about that on the post, and you can read about it. I'm gonna probably make a post on the forums just to see what the actual updates will be. I'm gonna say Clan Wars and God Wars. Okay, and vote. Let's have a look at the results. So far we've had 9,742 votes. The main priority for people appears to be God Wars. Now, I don't know whether people have been voting God Wars, or whether they've been changing their votes to have, multiple. But 75% want God Wars Dungeon on the first one, 50% want God Wars Dungeon on the second one. I'm assuming a lot of people that want God Wars have voted God Wars twice. Although some people might have voted different things. So the next major one appears to be PvP Worlds, where I'm guessing people just want the bonus XP or they want to kill people doing skilling. Although, to be honest, if you did kill a skiller, you wouldn't get much unless, I mean, the skills that you carry a lot of money and stuff, things like construction, but you can just teleport between a bank and your house and be relatively safe. So I don't think that bonus XP will be that good. So 11% want PvP awards on the first question, and 25% want PvP awards on the second question. Then Clan Wars Arena, 9% on the first question, 16% on the second question. And Wildy Tag, 4% on the first question, 9% on the second question. I think the fact that that was never actually released as they're going to release it in this on RuneScape 3 would make it something people will be unsure of. I mean, I'm a little unsure of it. I think the fact that I know that God Wars and PvP and they kind of work. I think, to be honest, God Wars and Clan Wars are the main things that should add. I mean, PvP Worlds, it depends how they do it. God Wars Dungeon definitely looks like it's going to be coming in. You got 75%, at least want that. Although we've only had 9,742 votes, so you know, if you go and vote there now, or get your friends to vote, we're probably going to have at least another 10,000 votes, I'd say. So it could all to play for, really. Anyway, so if you haven't voted in this, go and vote. You can get Clan Wars, God Wars. If you want to affect how the updates are going to be happening, go in the forums and write about it. If you're unsure about any of these updates, it does tell you on the forums the ideas and the plans they have and what the updates could be. And of course, you can always change it by posting. Okay, so go and vote in this. See you in the next video.